It's like, oh wait, I can't see anything because I don't have my glasses on. That's better. I've been forgetting to wear them a lot lately. Bookstahuda, welcome to today's video. The 10 longest books in my TBR video, which I've seen going around the internet, and it just looked fun, so I thought I would do it. I have a mixture of non-fiction and fiction for you. I have no idea how long it's gonna take me to read all of these, but you know, reading is a lifelong process, so hopefully I live a long, happy life and have all the time to read all of these books. I guess I could have gone like shortest to longest, but eh. I just watched Stardust with my fiance. It's a Neil Gaiman based movie from his novel, and now I really want to read it because it was so cute. But Neil Gaiman's American Gods, it just looks really thick, so this one clocks in at a whopping 746 pages, which is pretty, I mean, I have a feeling that a lot of that is to do with the page sizing. If it was a, because I've seen this book, I mean, it is usually kind of thick, but it's not always this many pages, but the pages are small, so eh. Next, we have the annotated Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen, which I love these editions, if you haven't heard from the past, because they have the text on one page, and on the accompanying page are all of the notes for the previous page. And when you first start reading Austen, if you care about getting all of the stuff that's going on, I found it very helpful, just because I didn't know a lot about that. I mean, I know about the time period, but there's a lot of stuff in here, like what kind of lace is used in the dress and what kind of carriage they're driving. Sometimes there's helpful diagrams. Apparently this is a contemporary sideboard, in case you didn't know. So just notes like that are very helpful. I've seen the movie of Sense and Sensibility where Alan Rickman plays a character, and I just loved it. And also Emma Thompson and Kate Winslet and Hugh Grant. And I want to watch it again, but I also don't want to wear it out, so I want to read the book again, or I want to read the book, period, before I see the movie again. So, did I say how many pages this is? Well, there's a lot of extra, like, notes at the end, but this one, including footnotes, clocks in at 709. So we do seem to be kind of unintentionally revving up to the longest book here. This has one of the most cringe-tastic covers of any book I've owned. It is the Dark Elf Trilogy Collector's Edition from the Forgotten Realms by R.A. Salvatore, starring Drizzt, what is his whole name? Drizzt Do'Urden. I don't know. A lot of people have told me I'll like this because Drizzt is apparently a great character, and I've tried to get into it a few times, and I just don't think I was ever mentally ready for it. It's kind of a work. Like, I know I got at least 30 or 40 pages in, and Drizzt hadn't even shown up yet, and I was just like, so I'm gonna give it another try someday. I've almost gotten rid of this because of how terrible this cover is, but then again, I'm like, but it's the first 3 books, and it's, you know, it's such a classic terrible edition that I gotta keep it. So this clocks in at 808 pages, so we're getting up there. This one is Daniel Deronda, which is one of her books that I haven't read. My nail polish matches the cover, and I really need to redo them. It has 710 pages, but George Eliot's books, page count isn't really an issue. It's just the mental work that goes into reading George Eliot. If you have read any George Eliot, you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of like Shakespeare. Your brain just has to kind of catch up to the intellect that you're reading. So yeah, someday. Because I've read Mill and the Floss and Middlemarch, and that's it. I've never gotten through a George Eliot on my own. I need to do that. This one is quite long. It is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. I really want to watch the show, but of course I'm a purist and I want to read the book first. 1,006 pages in this lovely red international edition. This one I've read in the past, but I want to reread it again, so it's on the TBR. It is Gone with the Wind. This may be the longest one. Oh, well, not in this edition, I guess. But, oh, it smells good. 959 pages of scarlet and ret and tormented Southern American love, and lots of problematic representations of African Americans. But I'm here for the red and scarlet love. Talking about tortured love stories, we've got a nonfiction book, The Brontes' Wild Genius of the Moors, the story of a literary family by Juliet Barker. I got this used online for like $4. It's so pretty. So, those are notes. How long is the actual narrative, the actual biography? 979 pages of pure Bronte bliss. The Ultimate Hitchhiker's Guide by Douglas Adams, complete and unabridged. I have this beautiful edition. I got it, I think Get Savers? I don't remember. I don't know where I found this, but it's beautiful. And it has, you know, golden pages, and it's got a bookmark and everything. And this comes to 815 pages. I've tried to read this book multiple times. I've read some of it on my own. I've listened to the audiobook recently in the car. Then my loan from the library of it expired, and I wasn't really following it all that well. I need to read this. I mean, I've just come to the realization that audiobooks and I don't work if I'm, you know, not really really invested. If I don't already know what's going on, because my mind just wanders too much. So I gotta sit down and read this bad boy. I don't know if this actually counts, but we're putting it in there anyway because it is one book. It is my Bradbury short story collection. It's 100 of his most celebrated tales, and it's just beautiful. This one comes to 800 and... drumroll... 888. What a nice number. I mean, the short stories themselves are short, but when you put 100 of them together, it adds up. And last but not least, I went through my Outlander books, and this is the longest of them. All of the books are really long. Surprisingly, Outlander is the shortest. And this is my hardcover version of A Breath of Snow and Ashes, which I have not gotten to. I believe, what number is this? Sixth book. This is the last of the ones that I have yet. I've decided to buy all of them in the large floppy paperbacks now because I really like them all that way. Of course, you know I have multiple paperback editions. Outlander Season 2 Collector's Edition is coming on Tuesday. I'm very excited. Bagpipes. So, how many pages is this book? It's 1,158 pages, so we have a winner! Ding ding ding! So this is the longest book that I own, unless I'm missing one. I mean, maybe my fiance's medical textbooks are longer. Outlander is just such a long series, and I'm not complaining. Not complaining at all. As always, we can never completely be done because I was like, oh wait, this looks really big, doesn't it? Yes, this is in fact the longest book I own, but you know, like some of the other ones, it's more than one book in one, so I mean, who cares if it counts, right? This is the Annotated Chronicles. It's the first 3 books of the Dragonlance series that were ever written, I want to say. But they're the first 3 dealing with my fave, my bae, Raistlin. However you say his last name. I say Majory. It could be wrong. People say Major, people say Major. I say Majory. That's how I've always said it. That's how I'm gonna say it. I don't care. I don't care whatever you say. It has 1,312 pages, so it is a behemoth. I read these when I was a teenager. I read them individually in this, you know, this kind of format here, the smaller books. I do not own them in the smaller books because I got them from the library. I got it used for $6. Steal! And because I'm already familiar with the story, I do want to know, like, their notes. I like the way they have the text. It's kind of small on the sides, and then they have notes next to whatever is relevant. They still have the beautiful pictures. And I love that the font is the same. I mean, the font is kind of big, so they could have made it smaller, but oh, now it's making me want to read it again. I love these books. If you need some kind of fantasy escape, this is a brilliant choice. It's a brilliant choice. Although I read the second series, the Legends series, first. If you want a Dragonlance video, let me know. I would be happy to make one. Thank you very much for watching. I make videos every weekends and Wednesdays now, and so far I've been sticking to it. I like the schedule. It's keeping me on task. If you have any suggestions for videos you'd like to see or requests, pop them below, and I'll see you next time. Books to George Eliot's Daniel. What? I can't, they've blocked out the price, but it's something like 6.5 pounds or something. Pounds are just so much cooler than dollars. That's the trash. But when you put 100 of them in, but I was like, this is gonna be a short video. No.